Hello, my friends. How y'all doing? Well, I'm just kind of hanging out at home, and I'm getting ready to go away for the week. I'm going to do some work at Yale, and I don't know. I was going to do some of this work in my little mushroom setup here, and a bunch of you expressed interest in this. So I thought, what the hell? Maybe I'll shoot a little video, see what, show people what I'm doing. Now, first things first, I wanted to show you. Anybody who knows what they're doing is going to look at where I have all this set up and say, this guy's a fucking idiot. You don't set up anywhere where you're working with microorganisms like mushrooms in a place where you have a canvas ceiling. Furthermore, you'll see on the top of this lab I made my little dark zone, which isn't fully necessary really, but I did that with like some blanket that I got off a first class trip on an airplane. So I'm going to replace that with black plastic as soon as I can. But basically what I'm saying is, don't ever make a setup like this in your attic. Do it somewhere else. Do it where you can clean the floors, the surface. This place is a mess, actually. But I'm doing what I can. This is just the beginning. I'm just getting some cultures going. And to be honest with you, I've spent the last 20 years, more or less, working hard to keep microorganisms from contaminating my microorganisms. So I've learned to think like a microbe. So let me give you a little tour, show you what I'm doing, and I'll show you some of the projects I'm going to work on before I head off to my real job this week. So this is kind of where I have everything set up. There's a little bucket that's hopefully going to have moisture mushrooms growing out of it at some other point. I'll show you that later. This is where I keep all of my grain spawn and some agar plates, which I've just recently made. And we also have some sterilized, vacuum sealed 5% dextrose liquid culture. It's just distilled water and corn syrup. I have this in a couple different sizes. Right now these are not inoculated, and that's the same for this popcorn grain spawn here. Let me show you what this looks like. So in this case, this is a lid that I just kind of made myself. We popped a hole in the top of a ball jar before we put this through the sterilizer. So there's a hole right there, and then I covered that with some micropore tape. It's a basic simple tape. You can get this from 3M. I bought a whole box of it. And that's going to allow an area for small amounts of gas exchange. It also allows me access to the grain, so I can take a syringe of liquid culture and I can inject it right through there. Before I remove the syringe, I'll put a new piece of micropore tape there and then cover that as the syringe comes out of the hole. I'm new at this, but despite my horrid conditions for for a lab of this sort, I haven't actually had any contamination yet, except for one thing where I was trying to clone oysters and coffee. That didn't work out too well. Up here, some of the stuff I have for substrate. So this is gypsum. It's kind of a mineral, provides calcium to the culture, and also keeps some of the grains from sticking together. This is wheat germ. It provides supplemental nutrient to the bags of sawdust that I have. I haven't talked about that here, but we have some bags of sawdust. And right here, this is about 4 pounds. I have 5-pound bags. This is a smaller bag than usual of sawdust supplemented with bran. Now on this, I didn't get the wheat bran in the mail yet, so for this I used oat bran that I got from the health food store. And the idea being that you can mix inoculated grain into a bag like this. It'll help your culture get underway really quickly. So I'm going to try that. I haven't done that ever yet, actually. But my next set of blocks I'm going to make with this, a great way to do it's with soy holes, I hear. I haven't tried that yet. And that's some vermiculite. I haven't even opened that yet to try. Got some extra popcorn. If you ever tried this, this is the cheapest I've ever seen. It's been perfect every time. It's like $1.69 for 2 pounds. So now if I unveil the terrible material I'm using to keep everything cold, you'll see, or sorry, dark, you'll see what I got in here. And this is my inoculated grain spawn and inoculated liquid cultures. So I'll just give you a little tour, show you what this is first. We'll start over here. These are the liquid cultures. We'll look at a really full liquid culture, something like turkey tail. I'll show you that. See, it's clear on top and really cloudy on the bottom. And if I swirl it, put it here on the shelf, you can see all that cloudy stuff in there is mycelium going around. Of course, that's not going to make a mushroom in liquid. You take that to inoculate things like the grain spawn, or in some cases even these bags here. Some other ones I have are lion's mane. Here's some blue oyster that hasn't grown out yet. Here's some blue oyster. You can see that floating around on the bottom. That's all expanding at the moment. Right here is some Pioppino that I've inoculated. You can't really see anything growing yet. Same, here's some red wine cap mushrooms that I directly inoculated into a bag with the self-healing injector port, and that's on the way. And here I have some red wine cap mushrooms that I have inoculated in grain spawn. So grain spawn's how we quickly get a fruiting bag to fruit. And so you can see I have some here that are nearly fully inoculated, not quite. Actually, I'm going to have to shake up this jar and get some of these grains to move to the bottom and some of these grains to move to the top, and we'll get more homogeneous area for the culture to then expand. This way these thick cultures don't have to expand all the way down. We can just have them continue to radiate outward. I have turkey tail here. This is a really medicinal mushroom. I'm really looking forward to making this. It's also very pretty. And back here, take a look at this though. Even though I inoculated these on the 30th as opposed to these on the 21st, these I inoculated with a stronger dose of the liquid culture. And you can see the difference. Even though this was done about a week later, 9 days later, this is a fully inoculated culture. And I have two of these. So I've got this one as well. So I'm going to take these cultures from July 30th, and I'm going to let these cultures from July 21st sit back here. And then we'll just close this again. So we don't need to really look in there anymore. But this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these blue oyster mushroom grain spawn cultures, okay, and I'm going to take one bag and I'm going to use it to inoculate a wood fruiting bag like this. We're just going to take most of this grain in here, and we'll put it in here, and we'll mix it up, and I'll try to make a video to show you how I do that, okay? Then what we'll do is we'll take some of the leftover grain from here and we'll spread it throughout these jars, and more importantly we'll spread a bunch of it, and probably open up this jar too, spread a bunch of this grain into this bag, okay? So this is going to really expand. This is about 4 pounds of this grain. It's like maybe 3 of these jars, and I have 2 of these bags here. And what I'd like to do one of these days maybe is kind of sell some of this grain spawn on a site like Etsy or on my own website, which I've started. So this is the Groovy Shrooms Laboratory. It's the name of the operation that I've given it. And you see we got some other things under the way. We got like a cleaning station here where I have my alcohol, and there's some Purell. Back there's a scale impulse sealer, some supplies like syringes and pipetters that I've grabbed. In here I have a spore print of some pink oyster mushrooms, and that should allow me to save the genetics of those, and hopefully I don't have to buy those again. And down here I have a bucket that I'm hoping to make some pink oyster mushrooms grow out of there. I'm not sure if that's taken yet. And then right here I have some lion's mane mushroom that is growing. I'm going to go away hopefully in about a week. When I come back, this will be halfway inoculated. Then I'm going to California, and maybe when I come back from that, this will be fully inoculated. So I'll keep you updated on that, and if I can, I'll post a video on some of the work that I'm going to be doing here, transferring this grain to expand my grain spawn library into these bags and into here, and then actually expand some into these bags so that we can grow mushrooms. I'm also thinking about taking some substrate, sterilizing this, and this seems like a perfect container to completely seal off the substrate, and then we can poke holes around it, and in about a month maybe have oyster mushrooms growing directly out of here. So thank you for checking that out. I hope I didn't bore you maybe with a little too much information, but I'm going to add a couple videos, and if you like them, I'll add a couple more. So that's Groovy Shrooms. Have a great day.